Before I play you this episode, I do just want to apologize for my raspiness throughout this episode. I have been under the weather for almost a week now, and I have been trying to put off recording this podcast until I felt better. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and it's the realness of it, right? Also, particularly with this episode and the topics that I go over and the time that we're in historically, I feel that it's imperative that I share this message right now, so that people are aware of it and that you can utilize this information to do deep dives of your own. Use your own discernment. Please do your own research. But I feel that it's really important to get this out to the collective. So, with that, let's start this episode. Hey, loves. Welcome back to Still with Sara. This is a space where we explore cycles, consciousness, and the ways we're being called to evolve, personally and collectively. I'm your host, Sara, and today's episode is Ripple Effects, Banking, Payments, Web3, and the Conscious Future of Value. I've been in the banking world since 2008, and about half my career was spent in payment operations, handling ACH, wires, and check processing. I've watched firsthand how money moves and how slow and outdated and absolutely frustrating the old systems are. Today, I want to share why projects like Ripple, also known as XRP, matter, what Web3 really is, and how they reflect not just a financial shift, but a leadership shift. Part 1, the old system. When I first started in banking in 2008, the entire industry was shaken by the financial crisis. Trust was broken, but the system itself didn't really change. It was still the same old middlemen and the same old delays. In operations, I lived inside the payments world, where I saw things like ACH transactions that take 1 to 3 days to settle, checks that could take even longer, and wires that were faster but expensive and full of cutoff times and restrictions. I can't tell you how many times customers would ask me, "Why does it take so long for my money to clear?" And all I could do was explain the rules of the system. The batching, the holds, the clearinghouses, all of those layers that slowed everything down. But think about it. We can send an email across the world in 2 seconds, but moving money with ACH or checks, that still takes days. And wires, while they're faster, are often only accessible if you pay the fee. That doesn't make any sense in 2025, don't you think? Part 2, the shift. Enter Web3. So, what's actually changing? You've probably heard the word Web3, but maybe it feels like a buzzword. So let me break it down in simple terms. Web 1 was the early internet, static websites, and you can only read. Web 2 is what most of us know today, social media, platforms like YouTube and Facebook, where you can read and write. But the platforms own your data. They control the rules. Web 3 is that next layer. It's the internet of ownership, where you can read, write, and own. Instead of a handful of corporations controlling everything, value and data can flow peer-to-peer, recorded on blockchains. And here's where the payments tie in. Just like Web 2 gave us apps and instant communication, Web 3 is creating decentralized finance, or also known as DeFi. Instead of banks holding the keys, we can transact directly with each other. Ownership, identity, and money can move, all without middlemen. That's where Ripple, also known as XRP, fit in. It's not just another coin. It's part of the Web3 vision, where payments are as instant and borderless as sending a text message. Part 3, XRP's mission. The intention behind XRP Ripple matters. It wasn't built as a hype coin or a get-rich-quick scheme. It was designed to solve a very real problem: the way money moves across the world. Think of it like this: when you send money through a bank today, it's like sending a package through 5 different postal carriers. One carrier takes it part of the way, hands it to another, then another, until it finally arrives. Every stop takes time, and every handoff charges a fee. That's what ACH, checks, and wires look like behind the scenes. XRP was designed to cut out those middle steps. It's like sending money by text message instead of mailing a package. It's instant, direct, and way cheaper. Another way to think of it is, imagine you're traveling internationally and you need to exchange currencies. Normally, you'd have to convert dollars to euros, then euros to yen, and so on. Each exchange takes time and costs money. XRP acts like a universal translator for money. It can bridge between any 2 currencies instantly. You don't have to go through all those conversions. XRP sits in the middle as the bridge. And it's not just about speed, it's about inclusion. Right now, if you don't have access to a bank account, you're locked out of most of the financial system. Ripple's vision with XRP is to make payments accessible globally, so anyone with internet access can move value, the same way we all send information online. That's why I believe in XRP. Not just because of speculation or hype, but because I know the pain points it was created to solve. I've seen those pain points up close in operations. Watching ACH files batch overnight, waiting on check clearing, explaining wire cutoff times to frustrated customers. XRP answers those exact frustrations. It's about creating flow, where the money moves like information already does. Fast, borderless, and frictionless. Part 4, resistance. Of course, change doesn't come easy. Banks, regulators, and existing gatekeepers don't just hand over power. For years, I actually bumped heads with leadership about this. I would bring up XRP, the future of payments, and the possibility of real-time settlement, and no one wanted to listen. I got brushed off and told it was speculation or too risky. But now, look at what's happening. What I encountered as resistance was just inertia. The current is getting stronger, and it's moving in the exact direction I tried to point out. XRP's evolution proves it. Back in December of 2020, the SEC sued Ripple Labs, claiming that the sale of XRP was an unregistered securities offering. That rattled the entire crypto space. But in July of 2023, Judge Annalisa Torres ruled that XRP sales on public exchanges are not securities. Ripple eventually paid a fine of about $125 million to settle, and by 2025, both sides dropped appeals. That clarity matters. It's a turning point for adoption. And it's not just XRP anymore. Projects like Zebec Network, also known as ZBCN, are showing what's possible with programmable real-time payments. Imagine payroll that doesn't have to wait for a Friday paycheck. Instead, your wages stream into your account second by second as you work. That's what Zebec is building. They're already developing instant payroll, DAO disbursements, and treasury tools that connect to traditional finance. Ripple and Zebec are even in discussions because their missions align. Frictionless, instant value transfer. This is a revolution for the entire financial industry. Mortgages, loans, real estate closings, business transactions. All of them can settle faster with fewer fees. Right now, it feels like most of our finance infrastructure is still stuck in the 1990s. But blockchain is catching it up to the 2020s and beyond. So when leadership told me I was wrong, I wasn't wrong. I was early. The resistance still exists, and it will when old systems are threatened. But energy wants to flow, and just like water, it's gonna find its way. You can build a dam, but eventually that current breaks through. The ripple effects are no longer theoretical. They're already reshaping how money moves and how trust is being built in every corner of finance. Part 5, Conscious Leadership Lesson. For me, this is bigger than payments. Web3 and projects like XRP aren't just about money. They model a new kind of leadership, one that moves away from control, secrecy, and old power hierarchies and towards transparency, collaboration, and shared value. In the traditional systems I worked in, leadership was often about control. Decisions were made behind closed doors, and the people doing the actual work had little say in how the systems evolved. And that disconnect created friction, not just in processes, but in trust. Web3 flips that script. It says leadership isn't about holding all the keys, it's about distributing them. Think of DAOs, communities where people vote on decisions, pool resources, and share responsibility. That's leadership, rooted in empowerment, not dominance. XRP is a perfect metaphor for this. Instead of forcing value to crawl through bottlenecks, it creates flow. Leadership in this new era is about to flow too, listening, adapting, and creating systems where energy moves freely instead of getting stuck. Conscious leadership means recognizing that the old hierarchies don't have to define our future. We get to design new models, ones that reflect trust, transparency, and inclusion. Just like XRP shows us how value can move in alignment with these principles, we as leaders can model how love, wisdom, and power move when they're shared. Part 6, Invitation and Recommended Resource. So here's my invitation to you. Don't look away from this shift just because it feels complex or intimidating. I know blockchain and Web3 can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to be a coder or an investor to understand the impact. If you've ever waited on an ACH to clear, watched a check take days to post, or paid a wire fee just to move your own money, you've already lived the problem. And if you've ever felt shut down by leadership or unseen in a system, you've felt that friction too. This isn't just about money. It's about how we design systems that serve people. The solutions are being built right now. Real-time payments, streaming payroll, decentralized communities. It's not just theory, it's happening. And the ripple effects are going to touch every single one of us, whether we're ready or not. If you're ready to dive deeper into this world, I want to recommend someone who's been such an inspiration to me. And his name is Crypto Chrome. His storytelling about crypto and Web3 is unmatched. He's got a gift for taking complex ideas and making them beautiful, clear, and unforgettable. If you're curious about this shift, follow him on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and X. I'll link his socials in the show notes. He deserves to be known because his work can help guide us all into this next era. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Still with Sara. My hope is that this conversation gave you clarity, not just about payments, Web3, XRP, but about bigger ripple effects happening in leadership and community. Remember, this isn't about charts or speculation. It's about evolution in money, in leadership, and in how we choose to build the future together. We are standing at a threshold where the old ways are breaking down and the new ways are breaking through. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who's curious about what's coming next. Let's spread this conversation so more people feel empowered to learn and lead in this shift. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes about this topic. Until next time, remember, stay grounded, stay conscious, and stay connected. You are part of this shift, and your present matters more than you know. I'll see you soon.